Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you are doing great today. This is Said Hassan from Pixapan. Welcome to the second part of our tutorial. If you are enjoying this tutorial, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, let's get started. Let's hit enter to confirm. Now, guys, what is the next step? Okay, now guys, after we have done the basic composition, now let's add some details to the background. How we can do this? Maybe I don't like the colors of the background so much. First of all, let's choose the mask of the first colorful layer. Let's make sure the foreground color here is white. Okay, let's hit Alt plus backspace to make the mask layer full white, and in the background layer maybe change it a bit. I think this is a little bit better. Yes, I think this is a little bit better. Okay, let's hit OK. Show the first colorful layer. Again, let's start masking. Hold Alt, click and drag to make the brush bigger. Make the hardness 0%. Okay, and the opacity 5%. Again, let's create the background again. Okay, we want this area to be visible, but the corner here we want to be the other color, so let's start brushing. Yes, the best thing about this technique is this is procedural. You can change the color anytime you want and make it however you like, but now I like this better. Okay, now let's start adding some details to the background. First of all, let's add some texture to the background. Go to File, Place Embedded, choose the textures. Okay, let's scale it a bit. Hit enter. Change the blending mode to multiply. Hit enter to confirm. Reduce the opacity a bit. I think maybe around 35. Yes, 35 is good. I like it up here, but I don't like the texture down here. So how we can remove part of the texture? We can create a mask layer here. G for the gradient tool. Make sure the colors are black and white. If it's not, after hitting G, you can choose this area here. Go to the presets panel, choose basics, and you can find black and white. So let's click and drag. Yes, this area at the bottom is masked now, and at the top area is visible. Now let's add another texture to the background. Go to File, Place Embedded, choose the other texture, hold Alt, scale from the center, and hit enter. Change the blending mode again to multiply. The opacity this time, maybe let's make it 25. Okay guys, I think we are going in the right direction. Now let's add the same image we added here in the background of the main subject. Let's add it again here. Go to File, Place Embedded, hold Alt, click and drag to scale from the center, move it up, scale it a little bit more, hit enter to confirm. Now we want it blended with the background. How we can do this? First, change the blending mode to soft light. Yes, I think this is good. Okay, let's create a mask layer for the sky. Okay, again, G for the gradient tool. Make sure the colors are black and white. Click and drag. Yes, I think this is better and it is blended well. Okay, now let's add some images to the background to make it a little bit complex. Okay, now first of all we want to group all this in one group so we can move it however we want, scale it up or down. So let's just choose the first layer, hold shift, choose the last layer, click. Now all layers in between are chosen. Control plus G to group, double click to rename it, call it main subject. Control plus T for transform, maybe a little bit smaller. Yes, we have an issue here now. Part of the mask are visible, but this is easy. We can go back to the mask of the main subject here and B for the brush tool, maybe this time with the rectangular marquee tool by hitting M. Choose this area. Make sure the foreground color is black. To add to the mask, hold Alt and backspace to add black to the mask. Now we want to deselect this by hitting Ctrl plus D to deselect. Now let's continue working and adding to the background. Before we continue, if you like this type of content, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure not to miss any new content. I'm uploading new content 3 times a week. Okay, under or below the gradient layer here to the background, let's choose the sky layer, go to File, Place Embedded, choose the airplane. Now I think it is a little bit big. First of all, let's flip it horizontally, right click while in free transform mode, flip horizontal, scale it down, move it up. Yes, I think this is good. Okay, hit enter to confirm. Now it is a little bit contrasting with the background. First step, we can reduce the opacity a bit of the airplane to blend it a bit with the background. Maybe 80% is good. Okay, and it is far in the background, so we need to add some Gaussian blur to it. How we can do this? Go to filter from the top menu, blur, Gaussian blur. Okay, 3.8 is a little bit too much, maybe 2. I think 2 is still too much, maybe 1.5. I think it is good. Yes, let's add another image to the background. Go to File, Place Embedded, choose Embedded, choose the airplane down. Yes, this position is good, I think. Let's hit enter. Again, let's reduce the opacity of this layer, maybe 80% to blend it. And let's add to it some Gaussian blur. You can go to filter, blur, and Gaussian blur again, but there is a little bit more professional technique to recall the last filter you used by hitting Ctrl plus Alt plus F. Yes, the last filter we used is Gaussian blur. Now we have the panel opened again. Maybe 1.5 is good. Okay, this is good. Now we want to duplicate the airplane layer. How we can do this? First of all, choose the plane layer from the layer panel here. Okay guys, let's hold Alt, click and drag to duplicate the layer. Ctrl plus T for transform. Now let's flip it the other way around. Right click, flip horizontal. Let's scale it, but now this time let's scale it a little bit big. Yes, I think this is big. Again, make it a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit bigger, and position it here. I think this is good. Let's hit enter to confirm. Now we have already the Gaussian blur filter, but this is a little bit sharp. We want to increase the Gaussian blur value. How we can do this? Double click on this filter. Maybe this time we can try 3.5. Yes, I think it is good. Let's hit OK. Now those two layers are interfering and it is not looking good, so let's reposition this bird layer. Okay, first of all, let's choose it, move it here above the main subject. I think this is a little bit better. Let's add another detail to the background. Go to File, Place Embedded, choose this Happy Embedded, choose the airplane corner, scale it up a bit, position however you want, hit enter to confirm. Now let's add some Gaussian blur to it. Again, let's use the shortcut we used the last time, Control plus Alt plus F. Yes, I think we can use the same value here, 3.5, and hit OK. Now I think we are done with the background detailing. Let's group all of the background. Choose the first layer in the background, hold Shift, click on the last layer. Now all the layers in between are selected, Control plus G to group them. Let's name them background.
Now guys, after we have added some details to the background, now let's add some details to the main subject.
Okay, first of all, the green here is a little bit saturated. Yes, how we can desaturate this layer a bit? Hit Control plus U to open the hue saturation panel. Now let's reduce the saturation a bit. I think maybe -40 is good. Okay, now guys, let's reduce the saturation of the other layer here. Again, hit Control plus U to open the hue saturation panel, desaturate the layer a bit, maybe a little bit increase the lightness. Let's use the same value, -40 in the saturation and +10 in the lightness. Let's hit OK.
That's it for today guys. See you in the next chapter.